If you're a heat and air conditioning technician or even a salesperson, what are the nine reasons why technicians lie about repairs, and why does it matter? This is a fantastic question. I'm Scott Bell, coming to you live for HVAC Technician Sales Secrets on a perfect day to talk about sales and business, and a fantastic day to talk about you. I'm coming to you live from Sacramento. So first and foremost, some people will not like these answers. I will give you some heads up that what I'm going to share with you may or may not be controversial, depending upon if you're a technician or if you are a homeowner. And some of the things that I say, the technicians won't like. Some of the things that I say, homeowners won't like. Now, first and foremost, you should not lie. You don't have to. You don't have to make stuff up in this industry. There's plenty of money to make. Now that we got that out of the way, I don't have a company. I train technicians. Don't come after me. I don't care, right? If you're a homeowner and you're like, Scott, like literally, my content's for technicians. As a reminder, you don't lie, don't cheat, don't steal, you don't have to. So one reason, we got like nine. nine reasons why technicians lie. I'm going to give you number one. Number one, some technicians are scumbags. Yep, I said it. It is a small population of the technician world. Some of them are scumbags. That's their MO. They lie, they cheat, they steal. Now, here's the thing. If you are a tech, it's really easy to get caught up in this and have this turn into a poison. The industry will police itself. Please, please, please do the right thing. Don't lie. Don't make anything up. Number two, occasionally, a small segment of the population, the companies are scumbags. And the companies will tell the technicians to lie and make stuff up. Once again, and I'm giving this absolutely not the right thing to do. And this is the full-on either A, go out, lie, cheat, and steal, or B, profits cover sins model, which both of them, 100% I think are wrong, okay? So I've said this like 8, 9, 10 times. Don't lie, cheat, and steal. Don't make stuff up. You don't have to. There's no reason to, okay? Number three, and this is where technicians really struggle. Technicians go into the office. They see somebody on the team doing it big. They see somebody on the team doing it amazing, and they're like, I don't have the skills, the talents, or the capabilities, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stretch the truth. I'm going to stretch the truth so that I can get my monthly award, or I can get my monthly bonus, or I can stand in front of the room and I can beat my chest. Or at the end of the year, I can raise my hand in front of 1,000 people and say, hey, I'm awesome at what I do. But the problem is you're not, because you're making stuff up. So don't lie, cheat, and steal. You don't have to. And, this really is a personal decision. Please stay on the right side. Don't lie, cheat, and steal. Don't make stuff up. You don't have to. And, the hope for all these people, the first three, is that they don't get caught. And eventually what happens is the market catches somehow, some way, and they always get caught. You always get caught. It's just the way that the world goes. This right here is why you should join HVACTechSecrets.com. I'll give you the goods. Not in the Facebook group, not in the YouTube channel, which means private coaching, private training, discounted coaching, discounted training. It's an email publication. I send you emails. Sometimes a lot, sometimes a little bit, sometimes none. I travel a lot. Okay, number four. Here is where we're going to start mixing up some content between technicians and homeowners. And occasionally, there's a difference of opinions. There is a difference of opinions. And less money in repairs sometimes equals the truth, okay? So let's say that I go out to a call and I say, hey, there's some issues with the contactor, the capacitor's out of tolerance, and there's oil leaking from the fan motor. And technician B comes out and he looks at it and he says, well, I don't really feel like the contactor's pitted and burned. We have rules at our office to say the tolerance can be a little bit less, but I agree with the oil coming out of the motor that's in the condenser. Okay. So now there's a difference of opinion. I'm at $1,200, $1,300, $1,500. Other technician is at $800. So the homeowner's like, Scott, you're wrong. That technician's right because his answer cost me less. Now, how do I know this happened? Because at one time I had about 70 technicians underneath my training at any given week, at any given time. And I would have to go out and have conversations with homeowners because it was my coaching, it was my training, and it was my responsibility along with the managers. So a lot of times the manager would have the conversations, but occasionally I have to go out and do some investigation. And a lot of times it came down to XYZ company is less than 123 company. And because it's less, somebody's making something up and it's expensive and you're just after profit, right? It's subjective. I could look at a seal on a blower motor and say like, hey, it's leaking oil. And you may look at it and go, it's leaking excessive oil. Like there's no way to really judge this, right? I can check in play. I can go, hey, does this shaft move in and out? Or I can check joystick. Does it go right, left, up, down? Does it wiggle around inside of the housing? These are all things that you can check. Number 5, they don't have the skills. They can't communicate, right? So technicians really struggle with explaining capacitors, contactors, fan motors, refrigerant, pretty much every part and piece. The technicians, as they're coming up, really struggle. And sometimes old technicians don't know exactly what to say, and they wander through the woods and explain everything. Like realistically, you should be able to explain what every part does in about 3 to 5 sentences. You should. And this really does help alleviate the struggles that you face moving forward with having conversations. So what happens is their limited skill is seen by the homeowner, and they're like, well, now you're not telling me the truth because there's confusion. It's not that they're not being truthful, it's that there's confusion, there's doubt. So somebody else steps in, is a master communicator, and says, hey, all these things are going wrong, but like one of these 2, 3 things I don't really care about, they're okay. It's really not going to matter. Now, I'm going to segue and have a different conversation with you. My dentist 3 months ago retired. So he sold his practice. 3 months ago, I went in for a cleaning. And then I had a toothache, so I went in, and the dentist that retired gave me a clean bill of health. Hey, your teeth are fantastic. I get back in there. They do some x-rays because I had some pain. And they're like, ooh, this tooth right here doesn't look so good. Now, we've had a gap of about 90 to 120 days. What happens in 90 to 120 days? Could I get a cavity? Absolutely. Right? So like sometimes there's time disparity that gets confusion in the conversation about what the damage is from the time that you were out in the spring and now that you're out back in the fall. There's well, what happened in the last 6 months? Well, that system has cycled hundreds, if not thousands of times. Right? These are all things for you to be aware of. Number 6, they don't have the skills, so they make things up. And when I say they don't make things up, they make up ways that they explain damage. They make up the ways that cause and effect happens. They make up the ways that interactions happen. They make up the ways of what's going on. They explain that refrigerant's going out and you have to get a new system because refrigerant's going out and it's being phased out. Like, they make stuff up that's not really part of the truth. Don't do that. You don't have to. Number 7, when a second opinion comes out, that dude shows up talking trash, right? It's like, hey, I got to one-up them because it's my role and responsibility to get this job, to get this maintenance membership, to get these repairs. So that company found 7 things wrong. I'm going to find 9 or 10. And what homeowners don't know is sometimes there's rivalry between companies. Scott worked at XYZ company. They call out 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3, Scott worked out also, and they got it out. They're like, hey, we don't like that Scott dude. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to prove him wrong, and we're going to find way more stuff wrong than what the other person did. And especially if someone goes, hey, I'm talking about getting a second opinion. Somebody else was out here. Now that homeowner's in for it. Hey, that guy that was out in front of me totally made stuff up, or that guy missed like 18 things. It's going to be hardly ever is it everybody's on the same page. Number 8, the homeowner did not take recommendations from the previous tech. This is why it is so super importante for you to document what's going on. This is why it's so super importante for you to say, hey, look, I got pictures, I got stats, I got data. Here is like 80, it's like pictures are cheap. Like when I got started doing this in 2001, we had Polaroids. Like now I got like a camera with a terabyte in it. You can get a tablet with a terabyte in it, and you can take pictures for as long as you want. You could take video. Like welcome to 2024 and beyond. You could take video, right? Maybe 2025, 2026, 2027, as long as this video lives, 2035. So the homeowner didn't take previous recommendations. Now, what you need to know is when there is a gap of time, we tend to forget conversations. Hey, Scott, you know, we had a conversation a week ago. Oh, yeah, I totally forgot about that topic. Yeah, you said that. Hey, Scott, you remember we had that conversation a month ago? Yeah, I don't quite remember that. I don't remember it that way. Hey, Scott, you remember that conversation we had 2 years ago? No, I don't remember that conversation 2 years ago. This is what happens with homeowners. Like The further you get away, like little Jimmy plays basketball, little Becky is a cheerleader, the husband and wife are in the middle of divorce, the neighbor's a jerk, right? The husband's in trouble at work, the wife, doesn't get along with everybody in the office. There is so much that goes on that we don't remember conversations. Our memory is fragile, including mine, right? I don't always remember everything perfectly. And it's like, hey, when we take a look at it, I don't have a photographic memory that's testable and like, Scott absolutely remembers everything. The same thing happens for consumers. Number nine, the system broke after the technician was there or while they were on site. I remember. I live close to Folsom. And right on the edge of Folsom, there's a town called Orangevale, and Orangevale has a cliff that overlooks Folsom. Really nice gated community. Old heat pump. I pull the wires off the compressor, and the compressor freaking explodes. I had a tech, Chris, with me. Right? Chris is with me, and he's like, dude, what do we do? Like, we go to a homeowner, right? Tell the homeowner, hey, unplug this. Plug blew out of the compressor on a 5-ton unit. Let all the refrigerant out. Homeowner was super chill about it, but, could have said, hey, you're lying to me. You caused that damage. I know of a company, really want to say who it is. I know of a company where the technicians will pull the terminals off of the compressors and they would widen the gap so that the spark would happen across the terminals and short out the compressor. Like, a homeowner doesn't know that sometimes there are scumbag technicians that do that they don't have to. They don't have to make stuff up and say, oh, we helped it along, right? Sometimes what happens is you're out there, you unplug something, you cause damage. I don't know how many times I went to a disconnect that was melted, go to pull out the disconnect and the blades get stuck, or that breaks, right? This is why it's like, hey, I got to point this out. I'm going to go grab you as a homeowner and let you know that if I pull this plug out, you're probably going to have some damage, especially on a melted disconnect, or especially if the breaker is hot. Like, that there's some problems. You got to have that conversation and say, hey, time out. I've got some concerns. I'm looking at this, and if I touch that thing, it's going to break. This is why, like, when I was a technician, I never wanted to work on a company's equipment that went out of business. It was like, last month, XYZ company went out of business, and you're here to fix it. I'm looking at it like, this thing's a pile of crap, and it's flaming. It was all installed wrong. If I touch this, I'm liable for it. So it takes really, really good communication skill. Number 9 is a long way to say you need good communication skill. And then bonus number 10. I told you 9. I'm going to over-deliver. I'm going to give you 10, right? I said 9. I'm going to give you 10. 10, sometimes homeowners lie. Yep, I said it. Whew. Everybody back up. I said it. Give me some distance here. Sometimes homeowners lie. And there were times where I would go out and I would take a look at a piece of equipment that a technician was at, looked and said, hey, that's bad. And because for whatever reason they had bought into their own story, they took that story and ran with it and had to stick with it and couldn't say, I'm wrong. Time out, I'm wrong. I'm so sorry. I suck. I'm wrong. They don't do that. No, what they do is they're like, I got to double down, triple down, quadruple down, and I'm wrong, but I'm going to come back and I'm going to blame it 100% on you. Sometimes, small segment of the population, sometimes it's the homeowner making stuff up. So there you go. There's 10 reasons why technicians lie, and they shouldn't. You don't have to. There's plenty of money to be made in the in-home services. You don't have to lie, cheat, and steal for like the 45th time, right? Just don't come at me and be like, hey, Scott, you got to speak for the industry. I literally said 45 times, don't lie, cheat, and steal. You don't have to make stuff up. You don't have to. Maybe 20. Okay, kind of went overboard. You got 1 of 3 things to do from here. Just 1 of 3. Find the subscribe button, click on it, and every time I send out a video, you'll get an update. 2, hit follow. 3, you know what you got to do. Share this video with a friend. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.